Hey, I'm live. Good morning. RJ Kaminsky here. It is 9:33 on Sunday morning here in Grass Valley on the 7th of October. And yesterday's video, I was talking about my life, my childhood, the beginnings, landing in Auburn at 8 years old in a very haunted house. And I was thinking this morning about how I want to do this, how I want to take where I want to take these videos and what I want to do with them. And it's probably going to change every day because that's kind of my nature. I am I my interests change every single day, and I'm allowing for that part of my personality. And I'm also there's aspects that I'm really wanting to be more consistent with. So we'll see. We'll see how these things turn out. But I just wanted to finish up my little bit of story on my haunted house and what a trip that was for me at 8 years old, landing in Auburn and all these stories surrounding the house that my mom purchased. And there was a what I heard right off was there was my friend that I met later on in life was connected to this family that the man was the attorney for the old owners of the house that we purchased in Auburn in 1974. And sometime not too far, I don't know how much, like we bought the house in 74. Before that, I don't know how long it had been since this family had lived there. But, anyways, this later on in life, this friend of mine was friends with the attorney and family, and this attorney had was representing this woman that lived in my house, and he needed to talk to her. And 2 weeks had passed. He was trying to get a hold of her, couldn't reach her. So he decided to go over to the house that she lived in and see if she was there, what was going on. And so he got there to the house that my mom purchased some years later. And this woman was dead in the corner of the living room. She had put a shotgun in her mouth and blasted her head off and was dead there for like 2 weeks. And this man came upon this woman, and I can't imagine what that would have been like. That just must have been crazy. So I got that story at 8 years old. Um, and then I also got the story that 11 years prior to this woman shooting herself, her husband had intentionally OD'd because of his own whatever psychological stuff. And then I also got story that maid and a housekeeper and a gardener had both died on the property. I don't know how that came about, and I never confirmed that. Never really knew anybody that had any more information about the other two. But four people dying on this property and two suicides, kind of trippy. Not sure why my mom chose to buy this place. Maybe she didn't learn about this stuff till afterwards. I don't know. But anyways, that's the story about the house that I grew up in, and um, just wanted to finish that story in case anybody listens to yesterday's video and wonders how that all went down. Um, there was a lot of trippy stuff. My mom felt the house was haunted for years. She had it blessed slash exorcised. Had trippy Catholic priests coming around in their full regalia and shaking their holy water while incanting things to have the spirits move on, that sort of stuff. So I never really had any direct experience with any kind of ghost related things, but I'm still not sure how I feel about that or if I believe in that. I'll go into beliefs a little later. But yeah, as a kid, it was pretty scary, you know? Um, so I just want to get more to current right now and show you this fabulous drink that has pretty much changed my life in the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's all it is straight celery juice. Takes me 30 seconds maybe, to push it through my juicer. Just uh, one full bunch of celery makes about somewhere between 16 and 20 ounces of juice. I'm gonna have a sip. It's really freaking delicious. I think my body really likes it, but it is like I I came across um, this interesting person who gets information from their higher self. Maybe that's what I call it. Um, from spirit, they call it, and um, the one thing that they really recommend is celery juice to start. If you're going to do nothing else about your changing your diet, do celery juice every morning and it'll change things. And it's really changed things for me. A lot of things, like change my mental state, change my achy joints. Um, it really relaxes anxiety. Um, and curbs depression because I suffer from both or I experience both. Um, and I can just feel it chilling me out every time I drink it, and throughout the days, I just feel a lot more stable in many regards. Um, hmm, this kind of stream of consciousness talking today. I got a little bored thinking about unraveling my entire life. I this morning I just felt like I wanted to shoot videos that were a little more current and maybe discuss some hot topics. The discussion of hot topics with me is going to be a little bit different, and that I uh, I got a strange take on a lot of things, um, and right now within my life, I feel like this kind of communication, this kind of interaction, online videos, is something that's just come to me that I have a feeling is going to lead me somewhere good into my next project, into my next vocation, into something back to smoothies, possibly. Meaning back to shooting videos on green smoothies. I don't know. I have some inspiration there and some interest. Um, but as I've talked about previously in first couple videos I've done in the series, um, I really am seeking a certain alignment with the part of me that is inspired and passionate and alive and excited about life. And that's what I'm here to express. I am not going to spend any time anymore in my life doing things that are of the mundane or are just distraction crap that leads me nowhere, um, except into greater distraction and dissatisfaction. I'm going to take the time I need to find a practice or experience or service or um, activity project that really turns me on. And I've done some pretty cool things over the past decade. I built a really nice business, um, and it just flowed. It just flowed. It came easy. The work was great. I made a bunch of money, um, and it's allowed me the past. I think it's been a year now that I've just been just taking it easy and doing whatever the heck I want. Um, That is needing to change for me right now, though, because I'm in a whole new place, a whole new part of my life. I need to make some money, and well, that's another thing. The money thing is, hold on a second. I think I'll go into the money thing. It's current. It'll be a little bit about my past. I say I want to make some money, and yes, for sure, and necessary. Though when I was, I thank God, well, my entire freaking life, living with my mom growing up, and all the way till, I mean, I think it's going to be with me my entire life. But my relationship with money was um, started living with my mother, who never worked in her entire life. I mean, she worked, but she didn't work for money, because what she did for money was get it from her mother. Her mother was an actress and had a bunch of money. And so all my mom did was get money from her mother, and then had me as an only child. And I got money from my mom, who got money from my grandma. And then I learned to get money from my grandmother and manipulate and lie and do anything I could to get more money from my mom and my grandma. And that started at like, shit, 10 years old, probably. Um, and went on, I mean, went on till I was 25, to where, I worked little jobs here and there and did it. I worked, made some money and all of that because my mom encouraged that, but she freaking had no right. She had no ability to teach me how to make money because she had never done that. She had never made a freaking, I can't say that entirely. She made some money, but never enough to survive. The money she got to survive came from her mom and her relationship and manipulating her mother in order to get more money. So that's how I grew up. Didn't learn how to make money, just, thought it was the thing that I needed to do. And so I got some jobs and all that. So at 25 years old, I was all, cruising about, being a hippie, um, planning trips and traveling around on the money that I got each month from grandma. I was going to school, went all through college, and then sold everything, got rid of the apartment grandma was paying for. And at 25 years old, had a hippie girlfriend and sold everything, bought a VW van, drove and took off on the road with my new girlfriend, drove down to grandma's house. I was expecting at 25, for some reason, um, some trust fund, sort of. It wasn't, I guess at that time it was a chunk of change, but it was about 40 grand that I was going to get. And I was anticipating that. And grandma said, "Sorry, Charlie, I'm cutting you off because you're not doing what I want you to do and doing what I think would be appropriate for your life, which would be continuing on with schooling and getting a job and doing all that shit." So, um, got cut off at 25 and was like, what the hell am I going to do? Never learned how to really make money. And now at 51 years old, I've had one, aside from probably 200 for real, different endeavors, jobs, projects, primarily jobs working for other people. I've done that many jobs in my life. So I've had amazing experiences doing so many different things, and never really getting something that I grabbed a hold of and grew like I always wanted to do. I always felt like I was an entrepreneur with passion and creativity and no follow through. So job after job after job, I would just get one new job, get really excited, think I was going to take it to the top and rule the world, and then make tons of money. And then I'd get uncomfortable, no staying power, and never learn that. Uh, and I would just quit. Or, yeah, I'd come up with some excuse why I didn't like it, why it didn't suit me, why it wouldn't work for me, all this just baloney that I was making up because I was uncomfortable and didn't know how to push through that because I'd never been taught that, never learned that. I'm not blaming anybody, but that's just the way I was raised and what I grew up doing. Moment things got uncomfortable, I would split. And that translated into relationships, that all my jobs. Um, and after 25, thinking I was getting a bunch of money that would take me down the road a little longer, I, uh, I just, didn't know what the hell to do and ended up working a whole bunch more jobs from 25 to 40, 25 to, yeah, right around 40. And at 40, going a little long today. I'm just going to finish up with this. At 40, I had been married for 12 or 13 years and right about my, yeah, right around 40. And, you know, marriage and relationships were interesting for me because it tended to be, well, my marriage for sure. I found a woman that would take care of me, just like grandma took care of me, just like mom took care of me financially. So I just dicked around for all that time during my marriage, working little odd jobs here and there, trying to get my shit together as usual, and didn't work out. And the relationship didn't work out because I was so damn unhappy and unsuccessful and non-productive and depressed as hell because I hadn't found my strength to create a living and survival for myself. So that's a bunch of stuff, bunch of my story. So I got divorced. I think for some reason this thing's getting really dim. Let me see if I can move over here and see if I can brighten it up a bit. Um, Not working real well. Let's go back over here and finish this up. Oh, that's decent. That's a little better. Um, so got divorced right around 40, ended up tripping off to tripping along with this guy that I knew. Um, this older gentleman was amazing and a great friend and tennis partner. And he had just got a foreclosure home on this property that adjacent to his, offered it to me. I had 40 freaking dollars to my name when I was 40 years old. And he offered this place to me, let me stay there for many months for free as long as I did some work and helped um, put this house back together. And then slowly but surely, I got a great job and started a whole new endeavor in my life, and which ended up being the first project and work that I put together for myself that I built from scratch and did for a decade or more, made money and took care of myself entirely, and it was amazing. So I'm going to tell you more about that in the next video. I want to stop this. I'm still adjusting to how YouTube videos are going and how long I can run them. Um, so leave your comments. Let me know how this is turning out and how this looks. And if you're at all interested in listening to 10 or 15-minute videos of my life, um, this is going to take some sort of shape over time. But for now, I'm just really talking, getting some things out, and sharing my heart and my life in hopes that it will serve in some way. All right. Take care.